Imagine you're driving down any street in North America and your car breaks down. You forgot your cell phone. You need to call your spouse, the AAA, and what are you going to do? You're in a Jewish neighborhood. You look around. You see in one house that there's a lot of activity going on. People are coming in, people are coming out. There seems to be a lot of laughter and activity. You figure, like, you go in, you ask if you can use the phone. You go in, you see there's waiters, there's waitresses, there's food, there's drink, there's laughter. If you didn't know you were at a shiva, what do you think you're at? A bar mitzvah, an anniversary, a birthday. Unfortunately, in most of the Jewish world, this is what shiva has become. A party. Years ago, was somebody I was very close with in Toronto. Her mother passed away. And I remember calling her up, and she told me that she was only going to sit for 3 days. And the shiva is going to be for 3 days. And I tried to explain to her that Sheva, that number 7, it's supposed to be 7 days, and 7 is completion. And I tried, but she was like, no. My rabbi told me just 3 days. So I remember going to pay a shiva call, and I came in, waiters, waitresses, food, drink. I couldn't even find her. Where was she? She was in the kitchen, directing the waiters and waitresses. I said to her, you don't have to do this. She goes, I know, but everybody expects me to. I sat her down, and I said to her, do you want to know what Judaism says, what happens after you die? She goes, we believe that something happens after you die? I said, yes. And I shared with her, I told her about heaven and the world to come and how the soul never dies. And she said, I just didn't think it was Jewish. She goes, I felt something. She called me up a couple weeks later. She said, Lori, you were right. After 3 days, my husband went back to work. My brother went back to the city he lives in. And I never mourned my mother. No wonder rabbis today are telling people sit for 3 days. Because she told me, who wants to host a party when I just went through the heaviest loss of my life? The Jewish way in death and mourning is so psychologically sound. It's so emotionally healthy. It's so spiritual. It's so growth-oriented. But we're so far away from it. And people just don't know. Most shivas that I attend, there's a lot of talking going on. But the last thing they're talking about is death or the person who passed away. People are talking about the problems with their health and politics and business, and it's almost like a reunion, and people haven't seen each other, and there's a lot of, this is not what it's supposed to be. If you've ever gone to a traditional shiva, it's a whole different ballgame. Nobody greets you at the door. You walk in, there's no waiters and waitresses or food or drinks. You come in, there's often a tzedakah box where you can give money in memory and merit of the person who passed away. The mourners are sitting low. Their clothes are torn, not just those little black flags. And they look terrible because they're in mourning. This is heavy. There's chairs in front of them, and you're supposed to sit down on the chair, and you know what you're supposed to say to the mourner? Nothing. That's right. You're supposed to say nothing. Why? Because there's nothing to say. Your presence alone says more than words can say. Your presence sounds, I'm here for you. I feel your pain. If the mourner speaks, of course you speak to the mourner. And ideally, what should you be talking about? The person who passed away. Unfortunately, we think that we're supposed to be there to cheer up the mourner, to distract the mourner. No. We think it's a mistake when the mourner is crying, that somehow we've done something wrong, that we've caused them pain, and we have to... No. It doesn't get heavier than this. This is when the pain is very real. And you're there not to cheer them up and not to distract them. You're there to comfort them. That's what it's all about. I have to tell you, I speak to people all the time, and I wrote a book about this, and I interviewed people who had losses even 20 years ago. And I asked them, tell me some of the stupid things that people said when you were sitting Shiva. It was right there. Oh, it was fresh. We don't mean to say stupid things, but we do, because it's awkward, it's heavy, it's uncomfortable. Can I tell you some of the stupid things that people say? One woman told me, who had lost a child. People said to her, at least you have other children. This is not comforting. One man lost his wife. People were slipping him pieces of paper with women's names and phone numbers on. Or another woman who also was widowed at a young age. They said, oh, you're young, you'll marry again. This is not comforting people. One woman told me her father passed away in his 80s, his late 80s, and she's sitting Shiva for him. And what did every other mourner say to her? At least he lived a long life. She said, Lori, I felt like standing up and screaming. That's why I'm in so much pain, because I loved him for so many years. This was not comforting her. Be there for people. Your presence alone says more than words can say. There's somebody I know who lost a baby, hours after the birth. I have to tell you, somebody else I knew, months later, the same thing happened to her. So I went and I asked the first woman, what can I say? What can I possibly say to this woman to bring her comfort? She says the greatest thing that somebody said to her when she was going through this heavy, unbelievable, devastating experience, she says the greatest thing somebody said to her that gave her the greatest comfort was, there are no words. That's what the person said to her. She just touched her arm and said, there are no words. Because there's not. Because there are no words. The Torah is very practical. Created a system of mourning that one woman told me, she goes, I felt like I was like a butterfly in a cocoon, and slowly, the 7 days, which are the heaviest days, where people are there to take care of all of your needs and you never even leave the home. And then there's the 30 days where there's fewer restrictions on what you do, but you're still in mourning. And then there's the year. And she goes, Lord, slowly, at the end of the year, I could fly again. You're never going to be the same. But your loved one wants you to go on. They don't want you to stay in mourning. The Kaddish that is said, if you see the translation, it doesn't say anything about your loved one. Nothing. It's all about your relationship with God. Because now, your connection to your loved one is only through the Almighty. And at a time where we could run away from God, we could be angry at God, we publicly reaffirm our belief and our trust in God. That's what's happening. That's what it's all about. Sitting Shiva, of course, brings merit to your loved one, that you're remembering them in such an important way. But also, it's for you. We cover the mirrors, we don't bathe, we don't wear new clothing. Because at this moment, at this time, you remember that you're a soul. We step back from all the physicality of life. We're not there to pretty ourselves up, because again, we're not hosting a party. We're in mourning. You are focusing this wake-up call that's happening. When you lose a loved one, your whole life is pulled out from under you. And you start asking yourselves heavier, more meaningful questions. What's life all about? Am I living my life the way I should? Is there a God? What does the Almighty want from me? And everybody wants to do something. What can I possibly do now? Especially a loved one who you've cared for, and now you've lost. That relationship does not end. There are things that you can do in this world that impact them in the world to come. Your loved one has awareness in the next world. They don't know it's the weather report down here, but they know when mitzvahs happen. They know that you've taken on a mitzvah in their name, and that's merit to them. That gives them a greater share in the world to come. They move closer to the Almighty. They bask in His glory. They know that you're doing something in this world because they lived and because they died. When you sponsor a book in their memory, when you give tzedakah in their memory, when you name a child after them, it's something very real. When you name a child after somebody, it's not just something to make your mother-in-law happy. That person that you've named after, first of all, they take on some of the qualities, the good qualities that they had, and also it's merit to them. We're all connected. We're not islands. People who came before us, the decisions they made impacted us. You are who you are, and you live where you live because of their choices. And your choices will impact the next generation and the next generation. And when we go on to the next world, the people who come after us, their choices impact us. We're all connected. Honoring your parents does not stop when they pass away. It continues. You bear their name. You are living your life because of the values that they taught you. So your choices are not just for you. It's impacting them as well. It's merit to them. You can give them more pleasure, more nachas, spiritual, soul-filled pleasure in the world to come because of the choices you make here. The Shiva call itself should be short. You shouldn't be there for a long time. And also the first 3 days should be only for people who are super, super close with the family. Super close, because those are the first 3 days are the most painful time. So to come at a time, you may want to come to pay the Shiva call when their service is happening, when they're saying Kaddish, but sometimes that can be also a very busy, crowded time. You might want to come at a time that it's quieter. And you might want to check to see what hours that they're accepting visitors. And don't forget about them when Shiva is over. Yeah, everybody goes back to their life. They're still mourning. And now it's like, how do I function in the world? Do you know that there are times where they really need us? You know when? The first Shabbos. The first Shabbos when their loved one's not there anymore. That's hard. That's a very hard time. Birthdays, celebrations, Yantiv, Chagim. These are difficult times. Remember them. Invite them. Prepare food for them. Call them up. I'm thinking of you. How you doing? Take them out. Help with their kids. Yes, Shiva is when everybody's waking up, but their mourning hasn't ended. And knowing that family, friends, community is there for them, it means a lot. It means a lot. Is paying a Shiva call fun? It's not fun. Is there going to be pain? Yes. Is there going to be pain avoiding a Shiva call? You bet. You avoid going to the funeral, you avoid going to the Shiva, you're going to feel very badly down the road. I should have gone, I didn't go, you feel guilty every time you see the love. There's going to be pain going, and there's going to be pain avoiding. So our Rabbi Noah Weinberg, it's all blessed memory, he always said, there's going to be pain either way. Would you rather pay winning or losing? Everything we do, whether we're taking care of somebody who's very sick, that's not fun. Going to a hospital to visit somebody, this is not fun. There's pain. Is there a pain avoiding it? Yes. Would you rather pay winning or losing? You'll notice that there's some consistent traditions that you'll see in different Shiva houses, even across the spectrum. And one is that you'll see a candle that is burning consistently, a large candle throughout the whole Shiva. So you see that candles are a big part of flames, and lighting candles are a very big part in Judaism, whether it's the Hanukkah candles or the Shabbos candles. So what's going on here? The flame is compared to a person's neshama, to their soul. Why? Because if you light a flame on a candle and then you turn the candle upside down, where does the flame go? It always goes up. It's always going up. And just like, I have to tell you, the tradition of lighting the Shabbos candles, there's a strong tradition to add one more candle for every child who's born. We have 5 children, and so I light 7 candles every Friday night, because every child brings more light into the world. It says the soul apparently is attracted to the flame. That's why we light the Yisker candle and the Yartzeit candles, and again the candle burning throughout this light. The soul never dies. The light never goes out. But we can do things to nurture, to keep it connected, and keep that light going. The greatest thing, the values that they taught you, the example that they were, you emulate them. And you pass these on to your children and grandchildren. That keeps the light going. When the family, the mourners, after the burial itself, before the burial, the focus was really on the person who passed away and the cleansing of the body and the Chefer Kadisha and everything that happens. And again, we bury very quickly. Why? And we don't have open caskets. We don't do any of those things that the non-Jewish world does, because our loved one was a soul. The body has sanctity. The body has the soul, and so we're very careful, and we handle with such modesty and such care in preparation for the burial. But your loved one was not DNA and skin and physicality. It was their soul. So we don't make up the person. We don't have open caskets. Do you ever go to one of those open casket non-Jewish funerals? Everybody walks up and they look down, and what do they say? She looks good. He looks great. Because they're made up to look like they're alive. We don't do that. Why? Because they're dead. And we're not trying to pretend that they're alive, and we're not trying to pretend that our loved one was this physical being. We don't dress them in clothes as if they're going to use them in the next world. We came from the earth, we're going back to the earth. The burial itself is done very quickly, and we don't embalm, we don't do anything to hold back from the process. We actually do things to hasten the process. When the mourners come back after the burial, they immediately have a meal. What's going on here? What is this, like Judaism? Like they tried to kill us, we won, they lost, let's eat. Okay, no. They come back and they eat because there's a part of them that wants to die too. There's a part of us, how can we go on? How can I go on without my loved one? And we say to them, go on, eat. The community is provided for you. We're here for you. You must go on. And your loved one wants you to go on.